Groundwork Arts introduces students to local artists and uses their art as inspiration to create new artwork. This project is inspired by local artist Jenny Kane. We are very lucky to have her here with us today at Sky Camp in our beautiful Joshua Tree High Desert. Jenny is going to talk to us about drawing a landscape and how she experiments with watercolor. Use watercolors, or when did you start to use watercolors?
That's a great question. I wouldn't call myself a landscape painter. I was very interested in abstracts and more sculptural stuff. I left the country, joined the Peace Corps, and a friend of mine in a care package sent me a tiny travel watercolor set, and I started to use that to doodle, especially when I couldn't understand things. I would try to draw them, and so that was really what pushed me into, I can take this anywhere, I can use it as a means to communicate when I can't speak the language. It taught me to pause and say, is there something around me that I can connect with in a different way? My parents took us on vacation to Yosemite National Park every summer, and that was the one time that I moved away from, my life in a box of a school classroom or an office or a bedroom, and I saw the world for the first time through the lens of these natural spaces, and that was the first time that I picked up a pencil and was like, oh, how do I capture the beauty of what I'm seeing right in front of me?
Do you do the landscape drawing before you paint?
I do both. Sometimes I lay down the watercolor and the colors first and add some of the line work later. Sometimes when I really want to draw and all I have are a piece of paper and a pen, I do that first and then I take the painting home and add the color later. But what I've loved recently is doing sort of timed pieces where I don't let myself think too much about it, 10 minutes or less.
But in recent times, over the last year, I've noticed that your work has moved much more into abstraction.
Walking outside into a landscape or walking into my studio to paint one, for me, reminds me so much about what I loved as a kid. And the freedom and permission to go explore and be curious about the world, and not judge what comes out of it. And so I just started making things with the objects that were closest at hand. And initially they felt very abstract to me, but then landscapes started to emerge out of those because that's kind of always what I see when I close my eyes. Don't do this at home.